Okay, now we're going to make the leaves for our cake, the pumpkin cake, to decorate it. And I've made these ones out of fondant. And I'm just going to show you now how I make these. First of all, I've made some colors with the fondant. And I just roll it in a ball. Nice ball. And I'm going to put a little bit of the icing sugar down here so it won't stick. Just kind of spread it a little bit. Put the ball down there. And I take my big rolling pin. I don't have a little one, and roll it out. Flip it over. About that thickness. So there's two different size leaves. I've got this one here and then another smaller one. So I'm just going to cut out one of these first. In. I'm just going to take this one off. And I'm going to take my sponge. I just have a kitchen sponge. And I'm going to lay this down on the sponge. And I'm going to take this tool. This has got a big end and a small end. So I'm just going to curl it towards like that. Curl this one in because it curls the leaves up some. There's a little bit of texture and dimension. And I take this little one and I'm going to make veins. It looks like veins coming out of it. Okay. Same here. And the same on this side. Just kind of push it down like that. And I'm going to do the same on this side here too. So you want to curl that more, you can take the big end and just kind of push down like that and it curls up. Same on this side. You want to curl up some so it looks like real leaves. Well, as much as we can make them look. Okay, and then I just place them on the tray. Just pause. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I've made a two-tone. I just took one I made yellow and I add a little bit of red to it to give it the orange-yellow look. I'm just going to roll this out as well. Alright. I'm going to take my little one. I'm going to make some little leaves. I'm going to make 2 or 3 little ones here, like this. I'll take it out. Take these ones out after. I'm just going to show how to do this leaf on the sponge. And I'm just using a kitchen sponge. There are special sponges you can have, but I'm just using this. So I'm taking my little one and pulling it up. See, it curls the leaves up, gives a little bit of texture. And you can put prints in it if you want or whatever. Just like that. That's it. And we're just going to put it into to dry out. And then we'll have them put around our cake. And that's basically how you make the leaves for your pumpkin cake. So we see we have a whole few of them made. And then you'll see later what it's going to look like on the cake. Good morning, guys. Now we're going to make this pumpkin cake. And it's going to be in the shape of a pumpkin. And to start off, what we're going to need is 1 cup of softened butter. Just soft to touch, you can see. Not cool, a little bit cool, but not hard. And 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. So we're going to put this into our mixer here. Actually, I'm going to get this off first. Put our butter in here. And then we're going to add our sugar. And this brown sugar has to be packed. So 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. And then we're just going to turn it on to a low to start to blend our sugar and our butter in here. And we're just going to let that beat away till it's incorporated. Now we're going to turn the oven on. We want to set it for okay, guys, we're going to preheat the oven. We're going to do it at 325. And while this is starting up to warm up, we're going to start our cake. Okay. Now that our butter and sugar is creamed, well, we're going to add our 5 eggs. We need 5 eggs, 1 at a time, into this. So, hopefully we don't get no shells in it. There we go. That's 1. Turned on. Let that beat in. turned up a little bit. Just another notch. There we go. Good. Okay, this is our last egg, and these eggs should be at room temperature, and make sure it's all beaten well. There we go. That's our 5th egg. Don't let that beat. Okay, I've lowered my bowl. Now I'm going to put 2 cups of pureed pumpkin in, minus 2 tablespoons and a half. So it's almost 2 cups, but we're going to take out 2 tablespoons and a half, which I've already done for you ahead of time. So I'm going to put this in. Or a 15-ounce can, if you can get a 15-ounce can. And you can use that. That's the same amount. It's almost 2 cups. And we're also going to put in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm just using my cap because I use. So 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're going to mix that in. Just going to splash that. And turn her on. Oh, shoot. Lift her up. Get the lifter up and then turn her on. Now we're going to sift our flour. I have 3 cups of flour in here, and we have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to put that in with our flour. And we also have, in this container, we have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. And also can call for cloves, but I don't like cloves, so I'm not putting it in. You can put 1/4 teaspoon of cloves in it too if you want. So we're going to sift this all together, get any lumps out of it. So we don't want lumps in our cake. Okay, now that our pumpkin and our vanilla is mixed in with our butter and sugars, we're going to lift up our machine and we're going to start adding our flour and our mixture with all the spices and our baking powder and soda. Start off low, and I'm just going to add it a spoon at a time. It's all getting incorporated into everything. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I want to lower it. I want to scrape my flour off the paddle and scrape down my bowl so that we have all blend it well. I'm scraping down the bowl here. And we're going to lift her back up, and we'll turn her on again and let her go for a few minutes, and then we'll get it ready to put in the pan. Okay, now we're just going to make sure all the flour's mixed in. I've taken it off the machine. We just want to make sure every bit of flour is in. And on this bundt pan I'm using, I've taken butter and buttered it and then put flour on it. Just kick some flour around it and make sure it's covered good so that the cake won't stick while it's being cooked. So we're going to put the batter into the pan all the way around. We're going to do it this way. Just 1 scoop at a time. Try to make it as even as you can. And when we get this done, then it'll be going in the oven. Okay, now we got all our batter into the pan. We're just going to make sure it's level. Hold out good. The spatula. And that's good. And we're going to put her in the oven. Okay, our oven's up to temperature, up to 325. So now we're going to put our cake into the oven for about 55 to 60 minutes at 325. And then we'll check it with a toothpick and see if it's done inside. And now we're going to check our cake and see how she's doing. Check, see if it's done. So, put the toothpick in it. It's coming out clean. Try a couple different spots. So that's good. Keep it going. And we'll take it out of the oven. I'm going to sit it on this rack for 15 minutes. Leave it in the pan. And then after it's been there 15 minutes, we'll take it out of the pan. Okay. Okay, now our cake has been sitting for the 15 minutes in the pan. So now we're going to try to take it out. Hopefully it'll come out nice and even. Let's try this here. On the rack. And success. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to flip it over onto this rack because we want it up the other way. Oops. And when it cools completely, then we're going to cut this top off to make our pumpkin. Okay, now we're going to make the cream cheese icing for our pumpkin. So we need 2 blocks, 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, 1 cup of unsalted butter. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 8 cups of icing sugar or confection sugar. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. We have our cup of butter and our 2 packages 8-ounce cream cheese in our bowl. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then I'm going to add some of my food coloring because I want to make it orange because it's going to be a pumpkin. So I'm using the gel. So I'm just going to drop some of that in there. A couple drops for now. I'm going to lift up our machine. I'm going to turn it on low just to cream the butter and the cream cheese up. So that's going to keep going until it's all nice and creamy, and then we'll add our icing sugar. Okay, now my butter and cream cheese is getting blended together. And my food coloring, which I'm going to have to add a little more because it's not dark enough, but I'm scraping down the bowl so that it can get all blended in better. Okay, now we're going to add some icing sugar to this butter and cream cheese and vanilla mixture. Probably about half it for now to start. A little bit more. There, now where's my... Okay, we're going to lift our machine up. I'm going to put this towel around it so we don't get a cloud of icing sugar. And we're going to blend it in a little bit here. Let's see, it's up here. Let it go for a minute or so, and then we'll add some more icing sugar. And we'll do that till all the icing sugar is incorporated in it. And okay, now we've added the rest of the icing sugar. We're going to blend that in. I'll turn this on too again because it's going to fly. And I've also added a little bit more food coloring. We may have to add more after to get the orange we want to look like a pumpkin. So we're going to let it beat for a while here. Taking the icing off the machine, and I've mixed a lot of orange into it, so I don't know. If you want it darker, you'll have to add more color, but this is the color I got. So that's going to go on the cake. Now the cake is cool, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut the top off this ridge here because we want to do this with the 2 cakes. You're going to have to make 2 cakes. You make either a double recipe or make 2 separate cakes with this recipe. And then we're just going to cut this bump off here. Try to go even around with it. Turn my tray so I get it even. And that'll give you a flat top so that the 2 tops go together. I'm just going to take this piece off and keep this piece for later to fill in your hole and whatever. Then you're going to make another one, you can place it on top like this, and then you're going to get the shape of your pumpkin. Then we're going to decorate it. Good morning, guys. Today is day 2 of doing my pumpkin cake. We're going to decorate today. This is our front yard, and it's foliage. You can see the trees are starting to turn already. They're getting there. So in a couple more days, there'll be lots of beautiful fall colors as we get ready for Thanksgiving. Okay, now we've had our cake in the fridge overnight to be cool. So, put the top off and our icing here, all made. I've cut out some cake tops with a cookie cutter that we're going to fill our hole with so that we'll be able to have a top smooth. So, I'm just going to take these. I'm going to try to turn these down inside here. Oh wait, first I've got to take the cake off, sorry. I'm going to have to start again, dear. Okay, so we've got our cake out of the fridge, and now I'm going to ice in this part first to join our 2 pieces together. spatula. A good amount on it. Just to join our cake together so it doesn't have to be fancy. I'm just going to use my offset spatula here to okay, now we're going to put our top layer on it. Okay, so I have this candy. Make sure this is even. Same lines going the same way. We're going to put some pumpkins and candy corn inside of our cake. Set it up. And then on top of that, I've cut some little cakes off the top we cut off, and I'm going to use this to put on top so that we can. Okay, so I want a little more height, so I put a little icing on the second piece, and I'm going to put on there. There. Now we're going to fill our piping bag. So I just put in a glass so that we can get our icing down into it good. I'm going to fill this bag right up as much as I can. Okay, I filled the piping bag, and I'm just trying to get some of the air bubbles out, and then I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm just going to squeeze my bag and pull up as I get the icing out of it. I'm going to do the same all the way around the cake. So we're going to go all the way around the cake. Now that I've got the icing on there piped on, I've been smoothing it out with my spatula. And then we're going to put it in the fridge. And when it's cooled, we're going to do some more sculpting to it. Okay, so I put this in the fridge and I've firmed up my icing a little bit. And I'm using this thing I made out of a container just to kind of pull the icing up to give it a little bit of grooves like a pumpkin. And we're going to go all the way around with this here like this. And I'm going to shape a bit more with my finger here in a minute. There, so that's that bit. I'm going to use a little bit of cold water on my finger, and I'm going to try to shape it more in here. Just a little bit in between. Okay, now we're going to decorate our pumpkin with these leaves we've made out of fondant and our top and some vines. And here's more vines. We're going to use this to put on top of our pumpkin, and then we'll show you after it's all done. So now our pumpkin cake is all done, and I'm going to just turn it around so you can see. That's it. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and God bless you, and I hope that you like this video and that you will subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and have a great and blessed day.